Welcome back to That LI Garage. So today we got this beautiful 911 Turbo 996, and we're going to be doing a lot of different upgrades. We're doing upgraded injectors, the injectors. We're doing boost pipes, turbos, and coil packs, spark plugs, a whole bunch of things. I'm going to show you the parts. If you're new to this channel, we take these performance cars, unique cars, exotic cars, we get them crashed and we fix them, or we upgrade and work on all these things. Last time we worked on this car, we did the intercoolers. So check out the video. I'll set the link right here-ish, if I know how to do that by then. So I'll set you, that will be a link to the other video, but this will be the next part. And we're going to be working with Mark Ski on this one. Mark Ski Tuned. He helped us with the other one, and we're going to do this one too with him, collaborate with him. And that's it. Let me show you guys the parts that we have. All right, so this is going to be our new intake. This is the turbos. These are upgraded turbos with billet wheels. We're gonna have new inlet, a new throttle body. This is a new exhaust. We're gonna have new tips also, new dual tips. Those are really nice. Spark plugs, clutch throwout bearing, coil packs. Basically everything for this. You're gonna see what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna get a lot of power out of this guy. Right now, I think he's around 400 horsepower, 420, I think 450 at max. But after this, he should be around 600, I believe. I gotta ask Mark Ski. Anyways, so first thing first, if you're new to this channel, you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications. So whenever I make a new video, boom, you get it. And I'm going to start with this, draining the oil, draining the coolant, taking the drive shaft off and the belly pan out, and what else we're going to do on the bottom. I'm going to take the sway bar off, the rear sway bar off, because the motor and transmission is coming off of this thing. So I'm going to start with doing all that. The first thing I'm going to do is just going to disconnect the battery. Stay tuned. All right, so let me catch you guys up. I pulled the motor out, and then this is how it looks like. No motor. Took the transmission and clutch off, set it on the engine stand. It's on the stand. It's a pretty big unit, and I'm gonna start taking it apart, and I'm gonna tell you what we're doing. I'll give you the game plan, but first of all, we gotta pressure test it the way it is right now. So I put the these are the connectors that used to go over here, the lower intercooler piping with the Mark Ski pressure test. This is just a plug to hold it tight. This one has a little fitting that we could add pressure into it. We're going to push it up to 20 to 22 psi. I already found a leak. It's a part that we're going to be changing anyways, but I'm going to search around for other leaks. I'll show you what a leak looks like. You're also going to watch it drop. We want to see how fast it drops. Talking about the pressure. If I stop it here, we're at 12, 11. It looks like it's about 10 seconds per psi. So we're going to hit up to 20 psi. Oh, we passed it. We're at 25, right? You got to do your testing pretty quick because it's obviously losing pressure. This is, I use dish soap The leak is right here. I use dish soap and water because it bubbles pretty nicely. And let me see, does that camera catch it is the question. You see the bubbles coming out from right here? See them? Maybe we need to get the light further in there. Just want to show you this one because it's bubbling pretty nice. Right there. I'll spray some more in there. You see all those bubbles? So this is throttle body, and then the first intake pipe or the manifold. This piece we're changing, and so is the throttle body. So if we weren't, the gasket in between here is no good, or this is made out of plastic. Sometimes they warp. So that's something that would need attention, but we're changing it anyways. I'm going to look around. I'm going to put more pressure to look around, see if there's any other leaks, just so it's easier to catch it right now before I take it out. Take apart everything. We're not rebuilding this engine, but what we are doing is doing spark plugs, turbos, coil packs. We're upgrading them to the 997 coil packs, and also what we're doing is injectors. That's the main reason why we took it out, is for the injectors. It can be done inside of the car, but there's a lot of other things that we wanted to do at the same time. And we're going to, with these cooling lines, I'm sure you guys heard, there's a big thing about these cooling lines that under pressure they will pop out. So we're going to address that. Usually people would drill here and stop it and pin it. But what we're going to do is fully take it out, and we got from Torque Solutions new aluminum ones, and we're going to just weld them in there. It's going to be a permanent fix. But in order to do that, we need to replace, just disassemble a lot of the engine just to get to it. There's 8 in total on this engine. So I'm going to have to disassemble everything, get to them, take them off the bench, clean them off really good, take the pipes that's in them already, that's pressure fitted from the factory, out, put in the new ones, weld them, reinstall them. So that's our priority right now at this moment. I'm just going to quickly check for more leaks, and I'm going to start with the disassembly. Alright, so the motor is disassembled, not the motor, but all the intake manifold, all the parts that I need to get out. to do the pinning of the coolant thing. It's not, I'm not pinning it, I'm welding it. I'm going to show you the difference between pinning it and the process of it. So follow me. Alright, so on this car right now we have, off of the water pump has 3, and then this is the oil cooler sits on top of this. So this is like the manifold for the oil cooler, and you have these guys. I pulled one out just for reference, right? I mean, I destroyed it while it came out. You have to use heat, and when it comes out it looks like that. And then these you buy from Torque Solution. You simply insert them and then you just weld around it. You got to clean off all, you know, sand them down and prepare it for the weld, the aluminum welding. So this one's ready to go. I'm going to be welding this in a moment, and then we're going to pull this guy out. I'm going to show you how I pull it out, and I'm going to do the rest of these. After that, there are 2 other ones, which there's one right here and another one. Where's the other one? I'll find it in a minute. There's oh, here, I'm sorry, they're over here. I'm gonna have to take a few bolts out over here and take this piece out, and I'll have more on this side, on this end. So I'm gonna finish with those first, and then I'll do that. Those I already cleaned up already, and they're ready to go. Okay, so I finished this one. This is what it looks like when it's done. You see it's welded all the way around it, right? And now I'm going to start working on this one. I'm going to put some heat into it with a torch and pull it out, just so I can do another one just like this. This one will never come out. Alright, so when done welding, when you're finished welding, a very important step is to plug each of the ends as much as you can and hook up compressed air to it and check for leaks. I had one leak in this one. This one didn't weld nice. That's why it looks this way, because I used the factory end on this one, so it was really hard to weld this one. This one was, you know, a lot nicer, a lot easier to weld, the ones that came from the kit. But from the kit, they are not curved, so I wanted to use this curved one so I don't have a problem with fitment later. So this one was a little bit difficult. The way you do it, you cap each one. You get these caps, usually I save them when you buy new parts. It has like little ends that come with it. I just save all of them. They're always good for boost leaks and stuff like that. So you hook it up, and I'm going to put it into water. I can't get 100% seal on this end, which is fine. This is just a cap. What we're testing is here, this seal, and this seal over here. So when I dump it into the tank, I'm going to look for leaks in that in this area and that area. So I'm going to push this in, and we're looking for the leaks around the two parts that I welded. So I see two leaks that I have nothing to do with. This one is leaking. The cap is leaking, which is not a big deal. I mean, it's not. I mean, nothing should be leaking, but that doesn't get clogged that way. There's an O-ring that goes on that end that will seal it when it's in the engine. Now around here, this weld right here, just gotta keep an eye on it, make sure it's not leaking from there. Trust me, I tried to seal it off completely, but it's really hard. The cast metal, it's a very rough edges. I'm going to put more pressure in it. Woo! All right, put too much pressure. Shot off the cap. This one passes. It's good. I'm going to move on to the next parts. I'm going to do them off camera because it's hard to do all this stuff. But each one I'm going to do, and then after that I'm waiting for all the O-rings and seals to put everything back together. During that time I'll probably swap the turbos, and I'll do the injectors meanwhile then, and coil packs. So I'll see you on the flip side. All right, so before removing the turbo, because we're going to be changing the turbo, I take some penetrating oil and I put it on all the hoses and all the hardware that needs to be removed, including the up pipe bolts right on the turbo. There's 3 of them. So let it soak, and then come back a few minutes later, soak it again. All right, so after the boost leak test we did on this engine, I took the white pipe out of it, tidied it up, and put it on this engine hoist and set it down on my table here. What's next was clutch. I already did the clutch on it. And now I'm going to be installing the transmission. So we put in a new clutch, and part of the process of installing the clutch is installing obviously the bearing over here, but then you have this arm this is pretty much what pulls the clutch pedal. When you push the clutch pedal, it pivots this out and pulls pressure off of the friction disc. So you put a piece of tape over here, painter's tape, so you could take it in afterwards. This way it'll prevent it from swinging left and right, because it needs to fit directly in between there. Now I need to just release this strap and then pick up this transmission and slide it in and turn the engine so all the splines line up, and that'll be it. Now, so normally I would videotape this, but it's really not sexy. I'm going to be moving left and right, up and down. Not that interesting to watch, and also I want to pretend like it went a lot smoother than what actually it was, because it's going to be a pain in the ass because I'm doing it myself. So I'll see you when it's connected, and I'm going to show you how to connect this guy back in. There's a certain way that this needs to go into. Actually, it's a good time for me to show you right now this part while it's easy to show you. So right here, this is the clutch fork, and you see this hole over here. This goes into there, and that's what pushes that. So that's what we're going to be aiming for later on. I'll see you later when I pretend that everything went a lot smoother than it really is. Alright, so with the transmission on the motor, we have here, this is the fork that we taped before. We have to put this pin through there. So I take a screwdriver to just really kind of line it up, but not take it out of its spot. Line it up, and from the other side I can try to just hold it into place like that. And then I can start sliding it through at least the first hole. Second. Let's go, come on. Oh, it's almost all the way in. And on this side, I'm just moving the fork up and down a little bit. In and out, I mean. Just massaging it in there. Because this guy's not fully in. Let's see. Push this. There we go. There we go. Now I could remove this screw. This 10mm bolt that I used to remove it with. Now this cap goes on there. Actually, I'm just gonna tap it in further. Aha. All right. So one of the needle bearings right here. You can see it fell out of place. So I gotta pull this guy out. I could see him. He's hanging out over here. So I'm gonna take the same bolt that we just took out. I'm gonna drill it into there, just so I could get the shaft back out. Where is it? You know what? I think the bearing is getting in its way. Alright. Yeah, there's a needle bearing that's right here. So I'm gonna set them back in. See, yeah, a bunch of them fell out. We usually do this with a pick. I'm going to use this again as a guide, basically. I think I heard it fall out again. I'm just going to check it. No, that didn't fall out. There we go. Now this guy goes in there. I'm gonna use a needle nose. It's like a plastic plug that holds it in place. You can tap it in again with a screwdriver just to flatten it. You don't need to hit it too tight because this is what holds it in place. I'm gonna try to do this with a magnet. Now, if this was in the car, I can imagine how annoying it is. Beautiful. Now we're going to put the cover on it. Alright, now we could pull the tape out and we have the fork in position. This is our cylinder, our slave cylinder, and we can see, we can put it in right in its location. Right here you could feel it. You see over there? Let's see. It has a spot where it goes into. So that's easy to get to. I gotta push this up and drill it shut and close that up. After that, I could put the starter, the cover. There's a little plastic cover over here. Starter wires, and this motor and transmission are ready to go back into its home. So I skipped a few steps and engine's in and done. Anyways, so while doing this, something you need to remember is the angle of the throttle body has to be pointed as down as much as possible, because you got the sensors here that are going to touch the top of the frame. The way that it sits like this, it has to have these pipes fit in and everything. Let me see any issues while getting it in. What I like to do is when you're dropping the body into the motor, there's a few lines on this side, like the power steering lines, are hard to get wrenches on them. So I like to connect them while it's still somewhat apart. There's a few lines also on this side that are like long enough. You can just reach, put them in while you have enough space, and then you keep lowering it, seeing what you could connect, and connect them as you go along, and then lower it all the way till it's on the bottom. Put in the nuts, done. Put them in. And this one I did have one issue with a coolant leak on this end, so I did have to take the power steering pump and also the AC compressor out to get to it and fix it. One of the welds, I guess, didn't penetrate all the way through. I tested it before, it leaked a little bit now, so I did that. Now everything is good. And before taking it for a drive, give it like 2 heat cycles. Means you fill it up with all the oil and coolant and everything. Start it up, let it hit temperature, and shut it off, and look underneath, make sure there's no leaks. And then you repeat that, do that twice. This way it gets all the air bubbles out of the coolant, and also pressurizes the whole system, so you know if it has any leaks or anything, so you don't go on the road and make a big mess and everything. So let me just show you up close everything completed. Looks really good. It drives pretty fast. And if you talk to Mark Ski about this, don't forget to do your boost leak tests. He's very big into boost leak tests, and I agree. You do them every step of the way, so this way you can catch it early on, so you don't have to go far into the project, find out there's a leak further in there, and then you have to take a whole bunch of stuff to get to it and fix it and everything. So you do it before the engine goes in, and then once it starts going in, you do it with more pipes on and from the bottom. You just keep doing pressure tests, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this short video, and if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, comment below anything you guys have a question or any type of video you guys want in the future, or if you have a project that you want to give me to have done, that'd be also interesting to do. And that's it. Till next time, if you ain't got haters, you ain't popping.